Hello everyone and welcome back to the Amelie Moran podcast. This week is going to be a little bit different. I thought instead of telling you about places I've been to, I would just take you along with me. Because this weekend is Sam's birthday weekend. And if you know me, I love a surprise. I thrive off surprises. I don't know what it is. I love being surprised. I love surprising people, love surprising my friends, family, and obviously Sam. And I always do a good surprise for Sam's birthday. But this one might be the best yet. I am going to be surprising him with a trip to Perth to reunite with his best friends that he has not seen for over a year. As a group, as a friendship group, we all decided to go traveling coming up to, just over a year, about a year ago. Sam and I obviously went to Latin America and the boys went to Asia. So we have not seen them at all. And we all knew that we were going to end up in Australia, but we didn't know if we were all going to be in the same city or same area or anything like that. And it's ended up that they are in Perth and we are in Melbourne. So towards the end of last year, it was kind of coming up that it was going to be Sam's birthday. I did have this idea in the works for a while. I really wanted to do something absolutely insane and I'm so excited about it. My poker face has been so strong. Like, he has no clue what's going on. He's gotten to the point where he keeps asking, what are we doing this weekend? Like you said, I'm not free. What is the plan? Like, I don't understand what's going on. You've said that you have something planned for every day of the week. Like, what is going on? And I absolutely love it. I thrive off this. But instead of doing an episode about how great our time in Perth will be or how nice it will be to see friends again, I just thought I'd just take you along with me and sort of vlog the whole thing. I don't really know how this is going to work because I don't plan on taking any podcast equipment with me to Perth. So we'll see what happens. Please bear with me, but I just thought I'd vlog it all. Some of this will have to be voiceover because I did not vlog this very well at points, but this was just us packing. I just told Sam what to pack and he kind of followed me blindly. He had no clue what was going on. At this point, he was getting very, very confused and very inquisitive, which of course, poker face had to remain strong. Then this was the card I wrote because I decided I wouldn't tell him until the airport, so I wrote it all in the card with a cute note also. And yes, I was trying to be funny with the card.
I think we might be going somewhere on a plane with suitcases.
Okay. I'm not saying anything.
Or a boat.
We were off to the airport. I did want this to be a surprise, but the driver announced it as we got in the car. So at this point, Sam was genuinely so confused. Now you can open this.
Oh wow. Woo! That's amazing, thank you so much. Hey, are we going to see Tom and Toby?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We got ourselves a Mackey's. Sam's got
Try this out. Vegemite seasoning.
Obviously, Sam was really, really happy. We had a bit of a wait, so grabbed a Mackey's. And I've never seen this before at McDonald's, so it was interesting to try. I don't personally like Marmite or Vegemite, but if you do, 100% recommend them because Sam said they were great. It's a dust that you mix into the fries yourself. Then it was time to board the plane. We're boarding!
First on the plane, okay.
First on the plane.
Very fast.
It's around a 4-hour flight to Perth from Melbourne, and I had planned to do some editing on the plane, but of course my laptop decided not to work. I hadn't downloaded anything to prep for the flight, so this felt like the longest flight ever. We made it!
So hot.
It's really hot. Quick bit of context. Please excuse everything about this situation right now, but a little bit of context because I feel like I didn't really vlog and explain it perfectly. I had told Sam that the boys were not going to be able to pick us up from the airport. So he was sort of thinking we'll see them the next day. Okay, like today's a bit of a chilled day, travel day. Obviously, I had planned for them to surprise him and pick us up. So when we got off the plane, they actually texted me, and one of the boys' girlfriends, Sophie, texted me saying that they were going to be very late. So I had to stall, which I'm not very good at. So I ended up having to make up that I needed the bathroom constantly. I also made up that I had cramp in my leg and really needed to stretch my legs, because obviously when you get off a flight, you just want to leave the airport ASAP. So Sam is very much going, can we just leave? I just want to get an Uber. Let's get to our hotel. Let's relax. We can go and explore Perth. We're going to see everyone tomorrow. But I'm kind of taking my time with everything and trying to be as slow as possible. But I'm obviously trying to stall to give Sophie and the boys time to arrive because they were slightly late. So I thought I would just give you guys a bit of context because I feel like this next clip might make more sense now.
I knew they would do.
Then we checked into our hotel, which, by the way, was absolutely stunning. Thank you to Sam's parents for helping me out with booking it. And then we all headed out to a bar. Now, this was so unexpected because it was a bar that had only opened a year ago, but they had a live band that were actually really good, and the landlady was going around handing out free shots and little sandwiches or sort of little canapes to celebrate the bar's 1-year birthday. So everyone was drinking, eating bits and pieces, and then we all got up to dance, and it was a really, really fun night. The next day, Sam and I grabbed breakfast, and it was honestly amazing. Then it was off to the beach for the day. We stopped off, and the boys were jumping off these cliffs. The scenery was absolutely stunning. I honestly felt quite overwhelmed by it. People were also having boat parties beneath the cliff where we were standing. So as soon as you jumped into the water, you were surrounded by all this music, everybody having a good time. It's not something I would ever do, jumping off these cliffs, because this taps into every fear I have of deep water, heights, and accidentally breaking my back. So Sophie and I did not join in, but as always, I just became designated cameraman. Time for a swim in the sea. It is surprising how much warmer the sea is in Perth. In Melbourne, the sea faces Antarctica, so it's a lot colder. It's one of those refreshing on a hot day type of cold. But Perth water was perfect for swimming. Sam and Toby went to the pier to jump off and explore, whilst I sat and read my book, soaking up the sun. For the evening, we decided to go grab dinner and then go to this retro cinema to watch Nosferatu. If you haven't watched the podcast before, I talk about how this film made me feel in a previous episode, but it was such a fun experience. I loved the vibe of this place. It felt very, very 70s. This was my attempt at showing you our hotel for the weekend. I forgot to film our room, so I thought I'd try, and then I just kind of gave up.
Sam, where are we?
The 7th, HSBC 7th.
Now for the most exciting day. We went to watch the Perth Rugby Sevens. It's a day where you go and watch rugby games all day, genuinely all day, but back-to-back games. They're 7-minute halves, so it's really quick, which I loved. It's like back and forth all the time. You don't really have a time to think about anything. You don't have time to pause. I loved it. It just kept it really upbeat. We were lucky to also have reserved seats in the shade because it was honestly boiling. It was such a fun day. I loved watching it all. I think even if you're not into rugby at all, it's good to go because it's all fast paced, so it's never boring. Lots of countries' teams were there as well. You had USA, UK, Japan, Australia, China, Spain, Argentina. You get the gist. They even did this race of people dressed up in inflated costumes, which was quite funny to watch.
early and didn't do anything. Because you actually did what we asked you to do. How do you feel after that?
And we were so lucky that where we were sitting, we could see the entire city of Perth and the sunset behind. This was an 8-hour day of sitting in the stadium, so at least the background was beautiful. The next day we woke up, it was Sam's official birthday, and we'd made it a mission to see how many free things he could get, because in Australia they do lots of free things if you can prove it's your birthday. His birthday did fall on a bank holiday in Australia, so a lot of places were actually closed, which wasn't ideal. For Sam's birthday brunch, we all met up and went to this amazing place Sophie recommended. It was honestly, like, look at that food. It was so delicious. I was the most full I have been on that trip. It was unreal. And I didn't vlog this, but after spending time at Tom, Toby and Sophie's house chilling, we finally got dropped off at the airport and said our goodbyes. We are at the airport.
Very successful and happy weekend.
Nice. The weather's very nice, but it's very hot.
Yeah.
So we will get on our flight soon.
Yeah.
After a lovely weekend, it was time to go home. The flight was only 3.5 hours going back to Melbourne, thank God. Sam got the burrito through. He's now trying to log into Subway to get a free Subway.
It's not even in the right country.
Going home. Yeah. I just have to chime in here, okay? I am not the most enthusiastic flyer, okay? I do get a little bit anxious, and yeah, I can't say it's my favorite thing to do. This flight back home was one of those where I genuinely thought, this is the flight where I die. Like, this is how I'm going to die. It was terrifying. I'm not usually that bad with turbulence. I don't really mind turbulence usually because I've seen so many videos where people explain what it is and you don't need to be nervous. And I also have this kind of rule with myself where if the stewardesses are not freaking out, then there's no need to freak out. You'll be fine. Because I think if it's really serious, then they'll start to freak out or at least show a bit of concern. But this flight coming back into Melbourne, we were landing and we were in the clouds for so long. You couldn't see the ground. You had no idea of like how far away the ground was, which already made me feel quite nervous. Then Sam and I started smelling like an electrical burn. If anyone knows what that smells like, it smelled like something was on fire or something. And all of the people around us in their seats are turning to each other and like whispering, or like you can tell that they're making kind of worried murmurs or something, which freaked me out even more. The turbulence is so bad, it's starting to actually make me feel sick. That's never happened before. Even on long haul flights, like I've never experienced turbulence where I have started to think I will be sick. But I think with all of that, people visibly panicking, starting to feel really ill, not being able to see the ground, I was just freaking out, like properly freaking out, did not feel good at all. But eventually we landed and we were all safe and it was all fine. And I genuinely could have kissed the ground when we landed, because I think also it wasn't a long flight. Like a 3.5 hour flight is not very long, but it felt like forever. And then to end with something like that, where the turbulence is just hitting extremely hard. I feel like it's just typical Melbourne weather that was causing it. And I'm sure everything was completely fine, but it was very stressful. Not okay. Then a few days later, Sam and I actually went to our favourite restaurant. It's called Little Moon in Melbourne, down the street from us. And we celebrated his birthday meal properly, just us two. And it was obviously so nice and absolutely delicious food. We love going there. It's so, so nice. And we actually went for the chef selection menu, which is not something we typically do. We're typically the kind of people that go in and know what we want to order and we just get it over and done with kind of thing. But we decided to go with the chef selection. So we kind of got to taste each dish as it came. It was, I want to say 6 dishes maybe. It was kind of like a tasting menu vibe. And it was absolutely unreal. Just so, so good. And to finish this vlog up, I hope this has been somewhat coherent. I'm not really sure. I definitely want to get better at the whole vlogging thing because I really enjoy doing it. But this one may be a bit all over the place. I hope you have enjoyed it nonetheless. And I'm sure there'll be so much more Perth content to come because I really, really enjoyed it there. It's absolutely stunning and I know we'll be back. It was a very, very special weekend and obviously successfully pulled it off very well, which I'm really happy about. Sam had a really lovely birthday, got to see his mates. If you've made it to the end of this, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like this episode and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.